Hello, everybody, and welcome live to the World Racing Network for tonight's broadcast of the National Sim Racing Association Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. I am Mitchell Adams, and I'm glad to have you all here with us on this Thursday night for the start of what is going to be a great season here in the National Sim Racing Association. I want to thank you all for tuning in the booth with me tonight. I have the one and only Doug Milliner, and Doug, I'm glad to have you with me here up in the broadcast booth for the first time. Kind of take us what we're in for here tonight at Daytona.
If practice is any indication, it's going to be a wild one. So far, been a lot of heavy pushing. Guess trying things out in practice, that's the time to do it. But Mitchell, hope you're in for a good race. Hopefully we see a good one. Hopefully not a repeat of what Martinsville was like Saturday night in real life, and we have a good one here. So hope you're doing good.
Yep, I'm definitely doing good. Excited to catch all the racing action here on Thursday night on the World Racing Network. I didn't actually watch Saturday night. Doug, I've heard a lot of not great things about how that race went down, but I think that's probably a conversation for another time for us here. Looking out on the track, practice is about to end here in just under 30 seconds. You're looking at Alexander Kerfan and the number 95 getting some last-minute practice in before the series goes to qualifying for the first time this season here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Season 2, we've already got Ryder in the chat saying, "Go Phillip." Glad to see you all tuning in with us here today. There's a little moment. There's somebody peeling out of pit road a little bit early, but Doug, we're about to switch over to practice. We're about to switch over to qualifying here at Daytona, and I know here at Daytona, lap time's always close in qualifying, so what are you looking for from that driver who's going to get that pole lap?
Well, they're going to need to be smooth, small, steady inputs on the wheel, because every little bit of that wheel, every movement, you're scrubbing speed off, especially in the corners here. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to guess Jeff Price gets our pole today. That's what I'm going for. That's my prediction for pole.
Well, there is
Just
the 14.
Got a gut feeling.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see here what Jeff Price does here in his number 14 machine here. Getting a little slidey out of the racetrack. Oh, that's unfortunate for Jeff. Welcome to the
broadcaster's curse.
That is right. I was about to say, welcome to the broadcast booth where we have what's called the commentator's curse. You can put on a driver if you say they're going to do good and then something happens. Come on, Doug. We're only in the first race, and here we go. Not even through qualifying yet, but either way, the drivers getting out on track for their qualifying lap. We have 33 drivers here tonight in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Quite a large field, should put on a fantastic show for us here in the booth. And for all of you at home, here's the number 99 of Phillip Scott, who's always a strong contender here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Good super speedway racer, up running the high line for his first lap. That's what they do here to try and build momentum up for that second qualifying lap, Doug. And sometimes the pole here comes within hundreds of thousandths of a second, so every little bit matters here in qualifying.
Yeah, I raced with Phillip quite a bit. He's an excellent super speedway racer. He's usually up near the front. My strategy always is to hang around the back. Different strategies play out. We'll probably get into that later. I usually, when I qualify, I just go out there, just try not to wreck. And Phillip with a 50.7, so not bad.
Yep, Phillip's... Oh, sorry.
Is that his first lap?
That was his first lap here. Lap times are going to start to trickle in here on the ticker up above, but it's really that final second lap that we care about here in qualifying at Daytona. Currently, Josh Sobel holds the lead of qualifying here in the number 75 machine. Josh Sobel, another very strong contender here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. He's going to get knocked off the top by Adam Pettit for the time being, but remember, all these drivers do have another lap that they can go out and complete. But you got to have a lot of speed in that race car if you're going to beat 32 other drivers here for the pole. Jeffrey Vickery out in the chat saying, "Let's go, Kerfan." Here we got some Kerfan fans out in the chat. A little bit of a tongue twister to start off your Thursday night. Here, Philip Scott currently up at the top of the speed chart after his second lap, excuse me. Philip Scott off track with the pole for now. Josh Sobel goes up into the second position, not quite close enough. So for the time being, Philip Scott still has the pole, but we still have a minute and a half left in qualifying. Here's the number 29 of Ira Kohlhaas. Here, I like this paint scheme. Doug got the Mountain Dew logo on it. I'm not a huge Mountain Dew fan myself, but definitely a nice paint scheme here. We'll see what kind of lap time Ira has. Coming across the line, lap number 2. Gonna go up to 7th place on the speed chart. We have a new pole sitter, though. Number 31 of Brock Whitehead is now your pole sitter here by, get this, Doug, 0.000 seconds over Jason Gracias. It's so close at the line that my little scoring thing here doesn't even show how much of a lead he had.
Yeah, that's a blistering lap by both of those guys. Jason's always fast. I don't know if I've raced with Brock a lot, but if he's putting up lap times with Jason, he must be a pretty good little wheel man. And hopefully we can have a nice little finish like that at the end there where we can't hardly tell who won. I hope so.
Yeah, we always love a photo finish here, and that's exactly what happened in the Max Graphics Super Speedway Series last night, where Jason Shu picked up his championship for that season. He is in the race here tonight, not taking a qualifying lap yet, though. We'll highlight him when we get to the race, but that's definitely a driver to keep our eye out on here. Nobody is out on track at the moment as qualifying just getting wrapped up here. They're going to have a quick... Oh, no, they're getting... I thought they were going to have a quick little break, but we are getting straight to drivers getting on the grid here at Daytona. And want to thank you all for joining us for our first broadcast here on the World Racing Network of the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Glad to have you all with us, and I'll take you through your starting grid here as they get lined up. At the line, it is the 31 of Brock Whitehead who sits on pole here. The number 1 of Jason Gracias missed out by 0.000 seconds, so into the 10,000ths of a second. Separated pole. Then it's the number 9 of Josh Ball starting in the 3rd position. I don't know why the camera's not wanting to show people. There we go. There we go. Then it is the number 99 of Philip Scott starting in the 4th position. Then it's Nick Kessler in the number 6 starting in the 5th position. Patrick Morrison starts 6th. Josh Sobel 7th. In 8th is Justin White. 9th, Ira Kohlhaas. And then Jeff Price, your pick for qualifying. Doug's going to round out the top 10 here to start it off. Then it's the 38 of Daniel Anderson in the number 11th, in the 11th position, excuse me. Adam Pettit starts 12th. Brianna Lavin starts 13th. Christopher Thompson 14th. Matt Donnelly 15th. Jeremy Richmond 16th. Martin Plute 17th. Alexander Kerfan 18th. Trey Whitehead 19th. Brody Smith rounds out the top 20. Then looking in 21st, it is the 47 of Mike Floppy Tellier. Then 971 of Nate Maurer. Stan Hausman in the Beer Street Journal machine starts from the 23rd position. Then it's the 11 of Chris Darling starting from 24th. The 88 of Noah Owens starts 25th. Jordan Shepler in the number 13 starts 26th. Then it's Doug Neal in 27th. Ben Mashburn 28th. Eddie Morris 29th. Garrett Gleason rounds out the top 30. And then it's Ryan Sizemore 31st. Sam Kohlhaas 32nd. Jason Shu, defending now the newly crowned Super Speedway Series champion, starting 33rd. And Brock Salvati rounds out the field in the 34th position. And Doug, that is a whole lot of drivers here that have come out for the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. A lot of strong race cars, and every single one of them is going to have a shot here at Daytona.
Yeah, the great thing about restrictor plate racing is no matter where you start, no matter what your I rating is, you've got just as much of a chance as the next guy. And I'm absolutely tickled we have 34 drivers out there for this race. It's going to be a great race. These races are even better when you have a full field like this. They did a lot of good recruiting, got a lot of good names in there, and I think we're in for a good one.
Yeah, a lot of people put a lot of work in to get this series going this season. All the admins at the National Sim Racing Association and everyone, all the sponsors as well. Beer Street Journal puts a ton of time into this, and all the sponsors at the National Sim Racing Association who are going to be ticking above at the top right-hand corner of your screen throughout the broadcast, and we'll shout all of them out throughout the broadcast. But Doug, we're getting ready to go green here to start the season here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series here at Daytona.
I mentioned real quick before we go green. Who's your pick?
Oh, after your little commentator's curse of Jeff Price in qualifying, I don't think I want to make one quite yet. I want to let luck kind of get back on these drivers' sides, but green flag is in the air here tonight at Daytona, and we are racing in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series, and it is Brock Whitehead in the number 31 out to a strong lead here out front, but Jason Gracias giving him a charge there on the outside lane, hooked up with Philip Scott. All these drivers bumper to bumper through turn one. Look at how big this field is, Doug, as they race down the back straightaway.
A little bit of fanning out, a couple of guys dropping below the yellow line to go back there and try to avoid the big one if and when it happens.
Yeah, sometimes it is just a matter of when here at Daytona, because those big wrecks are really what this track has become known for over the years. It is the world center of racing, of course, but a lot of big wrecks happen here because of the pack racing we see right now. But Brock Whitehead's going to hold on to lead lap one here, but he's getting chased down by Nick Kessler in the number 6 on the outside lane in the Taz Racing Customs machine. Taz Racing Customs, a sponsor here in the National Sim Racing Association. So a big thank you to them, as well as Josh Ball in the number 9, headed up into the high line. You see him on board here down the back straightaway. He's going to get a great run over the inside lane, and your new race leader headed off into turn 3 is this number 9, but don't look too soon, because there goes Nick Kessler in the number 6 up the inside lane. He doesn't really have any help, though. Up the inside lane, the 9 does, and looks like it is going to be the 9 of Josh Ball leading this time around.
I like the way that paint scheme looks. Nice looking paint scheme. The 1 pushing the 9, and he hangs him out. As soon as I said that, he drops down low to put the block on old Kessler there. And who's that behind Jason? I'm trying to get my numbers straight. Patrick Morrison.
Yep.
Yeah, they've lost all their momentum now.
Patrick Morrison, Jason Gracias, lonesome drivers up there in the outside lane. They are the only ones holding that outside lane down, at least up at the front of the pack. See the number 75 of Josh Sobel's right there up toward the front, running 4th car inside lane. Philip Scott's going to try and come up and close that gap, but early on, looks like drivers favoring the inside lane want to play it safe for the time being, as there went the 32 of Patrick Morrison down to the inside lane, leaving Jason Gracias all by himself up there in the number 1 car.
Yeah, I like how we're seeing a little bit of patience from these guys right now. No sense in ruining your race or somebody else's by trying to lead, within the first 10 laps. The safest place usually is out front, but a little bit later in this race, it's going to be one of the most dangerous places to be with all the bump drafting and slam drafting we'll have going on.
The front usually is where they like to get aggressive, and they really like to run hard for that race lead, especially as the night goes on. The field coming around to complete lap 4 of 60 this time by. Still in the hands of Josh Ball there leading the inside lane, but the 75 of Josh Sobel starting to try and get the outside lane going again. He's got help from Jason Gracias and Philip Scott up on the outside lane, but they're probably going to need more help than that if they want to contend with this huge train of cars down on the inside lane right now, as you see them working their way down the back straightaway. Cars really moving around in line there, Doug. They're really jostling around there back in the pack. Like, you can tell they want to get racing early on. Everyone wants to go out front, but looks like for most of the drivers, at least, we're getting a little bit patient in the early goings, like you said, trying to keep their cars clean for later.
Yeah, eventually the patience is going to run out, and it may happen before lap 10. You get behind these guys, you start getting impatient. The guys behind you are getting impatient, start getting bumped a little bit more than you want to. And then there's always when you just peek the nose out a little bit, just so you can cool the car off, let a little bit of air get into it, and that can also cause some issues.
Yeah, some jostling around now at the front of the pack's going to put Josh Sobel in the number 75 out to the lead of this race. Number 1 of Jason Gracias assumes the lead of the outside lane. Got a couple new drivers jumping up there, trying to get it going in the high line. The 32 of Patrick Morrison's back up there. I believe it's the 29 of Ira Kohlhaas up there. No, it's the 25 of Brianna Lavin, excuse me. Didn't get my numbers right, but they're losing a little ground to the inside lane right now. 4 cars versus the whole train. Like we said, it's not an easy fight to make. They're certainly giving it their best effort out there, though. As you see somebody else back in the pack, I think the number 98 of Jeremy Richmond ducking down, going to drop back a little bit into the field. You see the back half of the field pretty much single file. That is where we find, excuse me, number 3 of Jason Shu. I don't believe he's on track. I was looking for Jason. Oh, he is out there. Just didn't want to update. Here's Jason Shu. He is now your NSRA Max Graphics Super Speedway Series champion. We talked about him, so a driver to keep your eye on here on the Super Speedway, but so far he has taken a bit of a different strategy, Doug. These 3 cars, Adam Pettit, Jason Shu, and Christopher Thompson, all dropping well back of the pack. Is this by design, do you think?
Yeah, I would have to think so, and it's not a bad strategy. The only problem that could come of this is, I don't really have a ticker that I can actually see if they're losing little by little each lap, them just being a 3-car little breakaway there, and if they're losing any time to the leaders. That's the bad thing about the drop back in weight strategy. Is sometimes long green run, you lose time, you go a lap down, and in some cases after pit stops you can almost go 2 laps down. So it's a little bit of give and take with that strategy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a gamble for sure when you drop back of the pack, because it can keep you safer, but like you said, you can lose a lot of track position doing it, so we'll have to wait and see how it works out for all those drivers back there. The field remains basically unchanged out at the front, at least for the time being. Here a little bit further back, they are starting to get a little racy as well. You have Jeremy Richmond in the 98, starting to lead a little bit of a charge on the outside lane. He has the 96 of Eddie Morris with him here up in the outside lane. These drivers trying to get something going further back, but same picture back here. They really just don't have the help they need to get it going up toward the front. 7 of Garrett Gleason jumps up into the outside lane, but everybody's kind of shuffling, trying to get something going, but it doesn't seem like, at least for now, this outside lane is going to yield any kind of results, because everybody's wanting to be patient, and Josh Sobel is really liking that patience up front. He leads once again down the back straightaway, pushed by the Red Bull machine of Josh Ball in the number 9. They also have the Money Lion 31 of Brock Whitehead here. And now it's just Jason Gracias and Philip Scott. They're really struggling in the outside lane. I say that, though. And there comes the number 9 of Josh Ball. Oh, but Gracias going to take him 3 wide through the front tri-oval.
Wow, that was a great move there on Jason's part. Almost looked like it was going to work out great there for Josh. And now we're going to get a little bit of a 3 wide sandwich there. Going to go from second then to third. Just keep going back until Josh can find a hole in line.
Yeah, they are going to keep racing 3 wide. Josh Ball in the number 9 did a good job hanging up there in the middle groove all by himself, but he's going to slot down into the 3rd position. The number 29 of Ira Kohlhaas kind of let him down maybe into that inside lane, and Jason Gracias and Philip Scott back at it, trying to get the outside lane going. Slowly more cars jumping up there, and there goes the number 29 of Ira Kohlhaas. Like we were just talking about, Ira up into the outside lane through the front tri-oval, trying to lead that outside lane up to the front in that Mountain Dew machine. See, Jason Gracias, I've raced with him, Doug, on these plate tracks. He is quite the pusher on these super speedways. Definitely knows what he's doing. And there goes the number 9 as well of Josh Ball. Tried to jump up into the outside again, but Doug gets left in the middle again. Josh Ball not having any luck getting up into the outside lane.
You know, he went for it, and it looked like he had him clear, and he just didn't go that last little bit. And, you know, if he could have got clear, got a push there from the 29, he could be sitting pretty. But it gets so tempting to pull out when you're behind these guys, because you know as well as I do, each car gets a run on the next car, and then you get tired of giving. You get tired, and you want to go. And then that's also where we get some problems. But, hey, we're on lap 13. So far, so good. I mean, these guys are putting on a great race so far.
They are doing a very good job. We've been side by side, and that didn't quite work out for that number 29. Ended up getting shuffled out a little bit, but Ira back in line in the third car, I should say, on the outside lane. Josh Ball finally gets up into the outside lane, getting some help from Jason Gracias. As here comes the 24 of Ben Mashburn, shooting it 3 wide up the middle. Aggressive move from Mashburn here as we come to take lap 14 of the race, getting slotted up into that outside lane in front of the 88 of Noah Owens. Side by side also up for the race lead, the 75 of Josh Sobel, getting challenged for the first time in a handful of laps now by the outside lane for that race lead, as Josh Ball in the 9 has a really good run down the back straightaway. Jason Gracias in the number 1 doing a great job pushing the number 9 of Ball. Of course, Jason Gracias, the defending NSRA Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series champion. That series runs on Friday nights over on 3 Wide TV, so Gracias also a champion here in the National Sim Racing Association. Another driver to definitely keep our eye on, good plate racer as well, as there's a lot of big names up at the front, but Josh Sobel not content running second car on the inside lane, but Sobel's turned!
Trouble!
Josh Sobel turned, headed into turn 1. The field wrecking behind him.
Wow.
Huge wreck early on, and I'm not seeing the caution waving yet on my screen.
There it goes.
Find it hard to believe. There.
Now, my memory's not the greatest, but I said something about lap 15 earlier. I remember saying 15, but that just looked like, I don't know, Mitchell. We'll have to look at a replay. Just watching it live, it just looked like maybe a bump draft gone wrong.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and take a look here on our World Racing Network replay here. Headed down into turn 1. Let me get that dialed up for you all here. Coming down into turn 1. We'll take a look here at the number 75 of Sobel. Leading the outside lane, just gets a bad push, it looks like.
Yeah, just off-center there just a little bit, just enough to upset the rear end of the car there, Mitchell.
Yeah, that was all it took for that race car to go around. Unfortunately for Josh Sobel, a ton of damage on that car.
Man, Sobel, he looked so fast early on. We said the front is the safest place to be, but then, you know, there's really no safe place at Talladega or Daytona. There's not. Unless you're 30 seconds behind, that's about the safest place to be.
Yeah, it really, the front of the pack, like we say, it can be one of the most difficult places to run on track, because that is where everyone wants to go get to the race lead here at Daytona. And like we said, Doug, you said it perfectly. So I'm going to put something up here on the screen. I realized that we had a little technical bugaboo here on the World Racing Network. There's the thing that says caution. We're back. That's what I was missing. That didn't want to work. There we go. Anyways, the field headed down pit road here for the first time in this race. Everybody seems to be coming down pit road this time by to get. We'll see if they take tires here under caution, but you see Jason Gracias in the 1. A ton of damage on that race car. The 32 of Patrick Morrison, I believe, took quite a bit of damage. The 2 of Justin White, 29. All those cars who we've seen be so strong here in the early going. A ton of damage just because it gets a little bit too aggressive here on lap 17, but we've still got over 40 more laps of racing left, Doug. So those drivers, hopefully they can get those cars repaired up here and rejoin the race up at the front. But that could open the door for some new contenders here at the front of the pack.
Yeah, I'm not too well versed on the rules of this league. Are there fast repairs in this league? Do you get one? Or is it just
I don't
no
believe
holds
so.
barred?
I do not believe they have any kind of fast repairs, as you see all these cars still sitting down on pit road. So the answer to that is no, there are no fast repairs here in the National Sim Racing Association Pure Street Journal Grand National Series, which means that they're stuck with all of that damage they just took, unlike in some other series on iRacing. So very tough luck for all those drivers here on lap 17, but the 9 of Josh Ball kept his car clean. He is going to, I believe, be out front. We might have had a couple stay out. I do believe we'll see what Garrett Gleason does here. The number 31 of Brock Whitehead actually is out front. So the 31's going to inherit the race lead through the pit cycle. I believe the 31, very strong race car we've seen here so far. Started first on the pole here tonight, getting back up at the front of the field now as iRacing pace car lights are off. We have one lap until the green flag comes back out here at Daytona.
You know, Mitchell, I feel almost responsible for that because I was just wanting to point out how my dark horse pick was going to be Ben Mashburn, and it's wasn't even going to be a good dark horse pick because he's excellent on super speedway racing, but as we just saw, he is usually right in the middle of getting caught up in somebody else's mess.
Yep, Ben Mashburn with quite a bit of damage on that number 24 machine here as well. Got caught up in that one. So tough break for Ben Mashburn. Like you said, very strong plate racer here as well. We always expect to see him up front. And he was up there making some aggressive move, Doug, but unfortunately wrong place at the wrong time. Really going to hurt the chances for that number 24 and quite a few other cars after that one. Like we said, strong contenders like Jason Gracias taken out. Not taken out, but with significant damage as a result of that wreck.
Sometimes you get in these wrecks at super speedway tracks on iRacing, you're able to hang in the draft, but the minute you get out, it's like a parachute's been deployed with all the damage. And so some of these guys probably either going to be several seconds off the pace, or they're just going to have to hang on right there at the tail end of the field and hope they can pick up some more spots throughout the race due to other people's unfortunate events.
Yep, we will see what happens for those drivers when we go back green flag racing, which is right now here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Number 31 of Brock Whitehead leads them right back to the green flag here, and we are racing once again. A very damaged 41 car down there of Matt Donnelly. That car looks really terminally damaged on the front end. We'll have to keep an eye out for that number 41 and see if they can maybe get more repairs done. But side by side down the back straightaway, the number 9 of Josh Ball getting right back to it up at the front of the pack, being pushed by the 13 of Jordan Shepler, who I don't think we've really talked about much here tonight. Jordan Shepler, another longtime name here in the National Sim Racing Association. Very strong race car driver. Number 13 of Shepler pushing the number 9 of Ball almost out to the race lead. They lost a little ground, but trying to gain it back here through the front tri-oval.
Yeah, and a lot of times after big wrecks like that, especially early on, you'll get these guys kind of going a lull. But it looks like right after this green flag, they're going for it. Yeah. These guys are throwing caution to the wind. They, you know, and it's great. It makes for way better racing, makes for way better broadcast than having these guys hang around. I don't care if we have 2 cars finish.
it definitely does make it much more fun for us to watch up here when they decide to race side by side, which is exactly what they're doing here at the front of the pack. The number 31 gets a great push, though, from the number 25 of Brianna Lavin down the back straightaway. That's going to clear that inside lane. The first 3 cars, at least it will. Jordan Shepler now going to fall into the lead of the front pack as the number 9 ducked down into the inside lane. That leaves the 88 of Noah Owens pushing the number 13 up front. Then they don't have much help. You got to look a little further back till you find Stan Hausman, I believe. Oh, maybe you don't find Stan Hausman. Who is that? Is Stan Hausman in that machine? I can't find Stan on my thing, though. Here he is. You running a different number than I'm used to. I told Doug before the race, I've broadcast these guys, and they're not all in the same number I'm used to. I believe that's a number swap from what I'm used to for not Doug Neal. You're Doug Neal. Stan Hausman in the number 39 machine, so I apologize to Stan. I apologizing for calling him Doug, and I apologize to you, Doug, for thinking you were Stan.
Well, you also thought I was Doug Neal. I'm Doug Milliner.
You are Doug Milliner. It's
it's Thursday night. It's the first race.
Welcome to the World Racing Network, folks, where I'm up here making mistakes with names left and right, and I will try to get the hang of it, but it will happen occasionally. I apologize when that does happen. But the 25 of Brianna Lavin, while I was up juggling names up here in the broadcast booth, got up to the race lead over the 13 of Jordan Shepler, who now runs in second. They've got a solid gap, or they did until the number 88 pulled in line back to those cars back there. But I was going to talk about the number 39 of Stan Hausman running that Beer Street Journal machine. Stan does a lot for the league, and obviously Beer Street Journal does, as this is the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series, so we would love to see that number 39 machine get up toward the front of the pack. Stan doing a great job of that, running in the 8th position for the time being. But Doug, it's starting to go back to the inside lane, at least for now, it seems, as your top 7 cars all down there single file on the inside.
Yeah, these guys are, I guess they're just deciding it's a little bit too early, or they're going to wait another 15 or 16 laps to do it all again. Like I said, your patience runs out so quick here. Lifting to keep from running into guys. And there goes Shepler pulling out. He has a run. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. He doesn't have any help. The 88 stayed down low. Try to side draft there. Yeah. Just kind of stalled him out there.
Yeah, the 13 of Jordan Shepler tried to make the move, but didn't have any help at the time. Right now, though, does have the number 19 of Christopher Thompson there running up in that Aflac machine in the outside lane. Jason Gracias, he is back out there, Doug, and he is running third car in the outside lane, so obviously Gracias' car good enough to be out on the racetrack still. He's hanging in there tough at the front of the pack. You just can't knock down that number 1 of Gracias. He's doing a really good job. The number 7 of Garrett Gleason doing a good job up there, running in the 10th position at the moment. Gleason loves these plate tracks, I know. I believe he likes these plate tracks, at least. Doing a good job there in that number 7 machine, but Brianna Lavin doing the best job for the time being, but Jordan Shepler still up there in the outside lane, trying to get it formed up, and right now, they're doing a good job because that number 9 of Josh Ball, well off the bumper of that number 31 Money Lion machine of Brock Whitehead. So that inside lane a little bit disorganized at the moment. That's going to help the outside lane get a run for the race lead.
We're talking about Jason. From what I can tell from the camera angles, he just has rear end damage. He might have a little bit on the front, but at a plate track, if you want, and there he goes making a big move. If you want damage, you want it there on the rear end. So it looks like after he hit Sobel, that he might have got packed in the rear there a little bit and just kept going. And so, hey, you cannot take this man out of a race. He's the best driver, one of the best drivers I think I've ever raced against. You're also one of them. Claim to fame as I was ahead of you for 5 laps in my first season. But Jason, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how any of you guys are so good at this. We got a lap car there on the high side.
Oh, trouble.
Oh!
Number 19
Oh!
of Chris Thompson just rams into the lap car you were just talking about. Caution flag in the air for the second time here tonight. We got to go take a look back at that one here because something went down while the field was passing a lap car, and that is going to result in another big wreck toward the front of the field here down the back straightaway. We're going to take a look at it here on our WRN replay. Watching the number 19 of Chris Thompson, the 33, one lap down up there. That is, who is that? Alexander Kirk? No.
It honestly looked like the 19 was right in the middle of the corner, just got loose.
Yeah, we'll have to go on board with that number 19 here. Down the back straightaway, get a little bit of a better look.
Ooh,
at
the
that
8
one.
had a hard hit into the wall there, looking at the replay.
Yeah, we'll take a look here on board with the number 19 through turns 3 and 4. You see him just get into the lap car, and then they kind of wreck all around him, and then somewhere in that he got turned down into the infield, and that is going to bring out our second caution of the night. Like we said, here from Daytona, almost at the halfway point in this race. Now, I believe...
Yeah, if you go back to the end car, he turns to the left in the middle of the corner, and he just slightly turns back to the right. And then that's when we get the contact with the 33 there. And the worst place to find a car on these restrictor plate tracks is in the middle of the turn, because you and everybody else are racing hard, and it just seems like they come out of nowhere. Because you're not always paying attention to your relative on these tracks, and you've got to be so focused on the car in front of you and behind you. It's hard to keep an eye on that relative and see how quick you're catching some of these guys.
Yeah, it is in Daytona. Pretty narrow in the corners. It might not always look like it, but when you're out there behind the wheel of one of these machines, going 3 wide feels like you have absolutely nowhere to go. And unfortunately caught the slower car in the corner going 3 wide. Usually a recipe for, if not a wreck, a very scary situation if you're out there on track. And unfortunately this time it's going to result in a caution. Here, the number 88 of Noah Owens stays out there, and he is going to be the race leader for now. The 36 of Daniel Anderson, who has rear end damage from the first wreck on the night, also staying out for now. So those two going to be picking up some spots here. The number 3 of Jason Shue also stayed out there, according to my information here that I'm getting. Jason Shue has not yet made a pit stop in this race, if the data we're seeing here on the World Racing Network is correct, as looks like he's going to go down pit road this time by, because I was going to say 28 laps stretching fuel, very hard to do here, Doug, with the limited fuel tanks they run.
Yeah, I was just sitting here wondering to myself how many laps they could get on a tank of fuel. Because he couldn't have had no more than maybe 7 or 8 laps left, if that. So, I'm not sure about tire limits. I don't know if they have any of those in this series. I know in the Friday night series they do. Which tires really don't. It's not a big deal at Daytona. You know that as well as I do. Green flag pit stops, if we ever get any, we'll see a lot of gas and goes. It's all it'll be. Maybe right side tires, but the time to get them is under caution, and looks like what a lot of guys are doing, getting some damage repaired. So how many undamaged cars do we have right now?
Well, I think there are still quite a few who've managed to escape trouble. The 88 of Noah Owens looks clean up front, so does the 31 of Brock Whited. Brianna Lavin looks to have a clean race car. I think Garrett Gleason as well in that number 7 has kept it out of trouble. Looking at a nice pink Hello Kitty scheme up in the 47 camp coming to us from Mike Floppy Tellier. He looks to have kept that race car clean. So still several drivers here up at the front of the pack without damage. And then there are cars like the 41 here of Matt Donnelly, who just not had as good a night as you can see here. No front end left on that race car. So unfortunately for Donnelly, he's not in a good position here at Daytona, but see, he's only on lap 22, so he is several laps behind. I didn't know the ticker change times. We learn things as we go here on the in the National Sim Racing Association on the World Racing Network, where we are back green flag racing once again. The 88 of Noah Owens leads the field to green. Great start from the 25 of Brianna Lavin, but the number 31 of Whited going to be able to jump down into the inside lane and quickly going single file on this restart, Doug. You think people may be a little bit more scared after the second caution?
Yeah, you would think so. But then there goes Brianna out on the outside there. The 36 had a terrible start. He started on the outside there and just falling like a rock. I don't know if he's got maybe some engine damage there. Must not be. He's holding pretty good there. Maybe just had it too high of a gear. I know sometimes I'm guilty of this. You go to start in second, you're in third, and then you don't take off. And then you get
trouble for that 36. You just talking about him.
Doug. I need to quit talking about people. I need to quit talking about them and thinking about them.
Got into Garrett Gleason in the 7, who now has a ton of damage, holding it up in the wall there to let the field go by. But Gleason, we had just talked about, had a clean race car, and here he is. Garrett Gleason just in the wrong place at the wrong time. We're going to go take a look at what happened here out of turn 4 on our World Racing Network replay.
The commentator's curse is real, Mitchell.
I told you, you got to watch out. You think it's fake when you're watching these races. Looks like the 971 of Nate Maurer made contact with the 36. And Garrett Gleason just in the wrong spot. Absolutely nothing to do with it. But unfortunately, Gleason with a ton of damage on that number 7 machine now. It's going to put him well back in the pack. Probably going to have to pit for some repairs at some point. Meanwhile, back up at the front, it's still the 88 of Noah Owens holding the lead of this pack, leading the 31 of Brock Whited, Jason Gracias, Brianna Lavin, Mike Tellier, Philip Scott, and then you have to look a whole 7 seconds back to find the 75 of Josh Sobel, so no caution for this incident. Well, Josh Sobel no longer leading that pack back here. Still these cars 7 seconds back of your race leaders, so no caution for that incident. Has really resulted in the separation of these packs, so we'll see if the bigger pack can run these leaders down. They still have over half, or just under half the race to do it at this point, so plenty of time to make something happen here. As these 6 cars out front, the only ones to make it through that incident without having to slow up and lose time.
Yeah, if these 6 up front, if they play their cards right, they can kind of get broke away even more from Chris Darling in 7th. Just keep these guys, keep it single file, keep going, stay close to each other, and use the draft to their advantage. But Chris Darling in the 11, he's no slouch at super speedways either. And that's all I'll say, because I don't want to jinx anyone else.
Yeah. You were right on the money. Chris Darling in the Max Graphics machine. Definitely a strong Super Speedway Series racer here. Another driver we'll be talking a lot about throughout the season here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Currently finds himself in the 7th position. Max Graphics, of course, is a sponsor of the National Sim Racing Association as well. Love to point those out throughout the race. Number 98, or excuse me, 80. I keep calling him the 98, Doug. What's with that? He's the 88 of Noah Owens. Still running solidly out front, like you said. So the battle back here in this pack is pretty good that Chris Darling currently leads. You see the 39 of Stan Hausman running in the outside lane with the 13 of Jordan Schepler trying to get something happening out there. You see Martin Plute in the number 4 with some damage on the inside lane. Haven't talked about Martin Plute either, but he is also no slouch at these super speedways. The number 6 car jumping up to the top, Nick Kessler in the Taz Racing Customs machine, trying to get the outside lane going. Here they are running down this pack quite a bit. I'll pull up the graphic here to compare the lap times between Chris Darling and Philip Scott in 6th, who's the last car in that pack. You see Darling gained almost a second that last time around on Philip Scott. So this second pack definitely doing their job to catch back up to your leaders right now, and at that rate it'll only be a handful of laps before they find their way back up to your race leader. So something to keep our eye on here, Doug, as they're still not racing back, or they still are racing back here, but they're still gaining a ton of time. Of course, that could be helped by the fact that there's now a battle for the lead. Jason Gracias, definitely don't count him out here in that number 1 machine. He is up in the outside lane being pushed by Mike Floppy Tellier in the number 47 and the number 99 of Philip Scott, trying to get up to the race lead here.
Oh, yeah. I was sitting back there watching it. I didn't know if it was going to go anywhere or not, but Jason got a great run and had a nice push there from Tellier. And, honestly, if I'm Noah, just try to let him get it. I know you want to be out front, but a lot of things you don't usually think about. You're using more fuel out front. You're the driver breaking the wind. You're the driver that's always full throttle. So you're using more fuel than the guy behind you. So lead as much as you want, but it could affect your pit strategy come later on if we ever get a green flag pit stop.
That is true, as you can also see now that second pack has caught back up to your leader. So we are one big pack again here at Daytona. Chris Darling has fallen into the 4th position now, pushing Brianna Lavin. Got Nick Kessler there in the 6th. Those drivers have found their way into line here, but a little further back, not the case, as Jason Gracias lost quite a bit of ground, but still fighting side by side, this time with the 17 of Adam Pettit down the front straight away as the field working up on a lap car here.
Another terrible spot in the tri-oval. See, is that Doug Neal there in the 972? Staying high?
Yes, it is. Doug Neal, who is not Doug Milliner in the broadcast booth with me here tonight in that 972. Not having the night he'd hoped for here in that Simbox racing machine. Currently going 9 laps down. I believe it'll be 10 once all that refreshes itself when they cross the line next time. So Doug definitely having a struggle of a night here tonight. Oh, as Jason Shue in the number 3 went up the track. The 75 of Sobel, 971 of Nate Maurer on the apron. Somehow keeps it going straight. Stan Hausman going to do the same. I don't know what exactly happened, but
I don't either. It was the 971 and the 3. But they made contact, shot the 3 up the track. I'm not 100% sure if it was a pass gone wrong, a block gone wrong, but we're about to find out.
Yeah, we're going to take a look back at that on the replay here on the World Racing Network, because that is what we like to do. We like to show you all the action here. We'll see going into turn 3, you see Jason Shue checked up.
Oh, wow. That was a massive checkup.
He had a big run going on the 47, had to check up to not make contact, and that shot the car up the track just a little bit. And that is why he didn't just randomly go up. That's what I saw at first. I didn't see him have to check up, and I was like, why did the 3 go up the track? But it was because he was not wrecking the 47 of Mike Floppy Tellier. So good driving by the number 3 of Shue, but unfortunately it's going to cost a lot of those drivers behind him, who you see have lost a lot of time here. Doug Neal leads this second pack with his Simbox Racing teammate of Nate Maurer in the 971. Simbox, another sponsor here of the National Sim Racing Association. Gotta thank Simbox for all they do for the league. Of course, it's a good chance while we're about at the 2/3 mark to go through all your sponsors here in the National Sim Racing Association, just to make sure they all get recognized. So we've talked about Beer Street Journal sponsors the series, Max Graphics, the Stay Tuned Sports podcast. Make sure to check them out. Simbox, Brookstone Animal Hospital, who sponsors the Lucky Dog Award, which I believe we've given some out, and I forgot to pull that up, so that is on me. But we have had 2 Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award winners here tonight. Brookstone Animal Hospital, of course, sponsors that Lucky Dog to ditch drivers back a lap that have fallen one lap down. Always love to give that one out. And then Taz Racing Customs, J&R Craftworks, and Eclipse Photography, all sponsor here in the National Sim Racing Association and make this series possible. So thank you to all of them, and they are clicking away in the top right hand corner of the screen, and if you want to check any of them out, there are links down in the description to where you can see what all they do in more detail. But looking back at the race here, single file now for the lead pack, still led by that number 88 of Noah Owens, who's definitely taken advantage of not pitting here under the last caution, has been able to hold that number 88 out front really since the drop of the green flag.
He's holding his own there, went under attack there for what seemed like a split second now. Holding his own there, getting a nice push by Brock Whitehead. And looks like everybody is content. And once again, I bring that up, and we're going to have a massive crash here now probably. More of that commentator's curse. But everybody's content to ride in this, 10-car breakaway we got here? Not exactly sure. I think it's 10.
This is your top 11 cars here.
Close.
You were awfully close there. It was 10 until the number 3 caught back up. Of course, he's kind of hanging off the back of the pack. I was worried about Jason Chu, thought he might lose the draft, but he has caught up to the pack, managed to stay with them here. So your Max Graphics Super Speedway Series champion staying up in the lead pack for the time being, but Chris Darling in the number 11 not content running single file. Darling in the Max Graphics machine jumping up to the high line. He's going to get Jordan Shepler and Adam Pettit go up there with him through turns 3 and 4, trying to make something happen. Are those 3? And of course, there's less cars in this lead pack, so they are going to have an easier job of it, just those 3. And well, if you look at it,
Look at this run.
yeah, great job by Chris Darling. Those drivers doing a good job hanging up there, as Brianna Lavin didn't have much help. Finally, the 6 of Nick Kessler gonna join her there up in the inside lane, but the 4 of Martin Plute going up. Well, I thought Martin was gonna go up, but it was the 25 who ended up going up. Brianna Lavin joins the outside lane. Martin Plute gonna go back to the inside. As they go down the back straightaway, though, I believe Chris Darling has nosed ahead of the 88 of Noah Owens, so give the lead over to Darling into 3 and 4. Jordan Shepler, tried to get down, gets turned.
Yeah.
Wrecking.
Wow. And it looked like that Chris was going to hang out, probably a little bit of communication between him and Shepler, wanting to know when he was clear. And it looked like Shepler just tried to make himself clear there. Maybe he was trying to get a run on Darling. But it did not go. It did not work out, and just tough luck there for Noah. I mean, that's
It's a lot of damage.
9 of our top 11 we had broke away there.
Yeah. A lot of cars involved in that one. We're going to go on board with the number 88 of Noah Owens, who's driving the Eclipse Photography machine, who's, again, also a sponsor of the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. I didn't realize they were on his car, so glad to know that now. On board with the number 88, you're just going to kind of see the 13 of Jordan Shepler. I think he thought he was clear and wanted to try and make the move. You see the nose of the 88 just barely there. Number
Just
88
enough.
hard into the outside wall. A lot of contact. And unfortunately for him, that is going to really hurt his chances after he'd had such a strong run ever since the last restart. So unfortunate. You see the number 31 of Brock Whitehead. Also heavy damage, worse than the number 88. So both those drivers really hurt after that one, after running so strong for the opening stages of this race.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised at how fast this race has gone by. I mean, it feels like we just started. We're already on lap 45. We had great racing. Unfortunately, a few too many wrecks here, really thinning the field out. You don't really think of Daytona and Talladega as just like races of attrition, but this race has turned into the race of attrition. It's going to come down to who doesn't have any damage, I believe.
Unless you're the number 1 of Jason Gracias, who can race with any kind of damage you throw on that race car.
Yes.
We've seen several drivers, though, I think, not just Gracias, don't want to single him out, been able to keep pace with some damage on their race cars. So we'll have to wait and see who all is able to keep their car clean for the last 15 laps of this race. Your race leader currently, though, Doug, is the number 3 of Jason Shu. Told you to keep an eye on him at the beginning of the race. He is the defending Max Graphics Super Speedway Series champion, was crowned last night, and he is currently your race leader in that. Trying to see. I couldn't read the sponsor on the side of the car. Firehouse on the front. I know Beer Street Journal is on the back of Jason Shu's machine. He is out into the race lead for the first time. Once again, the contrarian on pit strategy. He has been out 18 laps, so he did not come in this last time. Neither did the 99 of Philip Scott, who runs in second. Then another rebel when it comes to pit strategy. The number 28 of Sam Kohlhaas there in the number 28 machine. Running 17th, has not pitted in 30 laps. That is the longest I believe we have seen this race in that Pepsi machine. So good job for Kohlhaas. Again, I gotta do a quick check here. I believe the number 31. No, he's just coming out of pit road. I'm trying to get on my scoring. 7 of Garrett Gleason also coming out of pit road. They jumbled it up on me before I remembered. I will get used to it. I promise, Brookstone Animal Hospital. Well, we gave a lucky dog away to somebody, and I don't know exactly who it is, but Brookstone Animal Hospital, again, sponsors the lucky dog. For our sake, it's Garrett Gleason, who I don't think got it, 'cause he's just coming out of pit road. But again, thank you to Brookstone Animal Hospital for putting some driver back up on the lead lap who I didn't think of in time to catch. But you can check them out. Again, link in the description to Brookstone Animal Hospital. Great sponsor here in the National Sim Racing Association. And pace car lights off, Doug, here. We're going to go green next time by with 14 laps to go in this race.
Yeah, I just did a quick run through of the field. And it looks like we have about 4 or 5 cars with little to no damage, and just 2 or 3 with minor damage. Philip Scott there in the 99, he's got a little front end damage. Jason's got the rear end damage, which somehow gave him like a 20-mile-an-hour speed boost. Tellier, I don't know if he has any damage. We've seen Shu hit other cars. I think I said his name right. I'm always bad at that. We've seen him hit other cars. His car still looks squeaky clean. So should have about 5 or 6 maybe cars that should be good in the draft here.
Green flag is back in the air. Again, we're going to have to wait and see. I feel like they've done a very good job being able to keep pace, even if they are damaged. I think Jason Gracias right now up at the front kind of shows that. Also, the number 29 car of Ira Kohlhaas has damage. Was involved in that initial wreck in the race, I believe. Gotten that car repaired up a little bit. Running in the 6th position on this restart. So Ira getting back up into this race. The number 3 of Jason Shu trying to keep it out front, but getting a lot of pressure from Mike Tellier in the number 47 there in the outside lane. Getting pushed from Jason Gracias and Stan Hausman. Those drivers, very strong pushers, but so are Philip Scott and Chris Darling down in the inside lane. So a lot of the strong plate racers, at least that I am aware of, that I've raced with over my time, really start to show up here as we get into the later stages of it. Is great run for Tellier down the front straightaway.
About 11 laps to go, 12. When I paid attention to the ticker, I've just been sitting here watching these guys go back and forth. And even if the driver you came to watch isn't up there, look at all these cars. Look at all these nice paint schemes we got. I mean, that's one thing I say for this league. If Max Graphics is the one that painted all these cars, I mean, that's who you need. First of all, that's who you need to go to paint your cars. The guy is great at what he does. Great cars. They're all beautiful. And looks like Stan's going to try to give the one a little bit of a boost. Mitchell, I don't know if you've noticed, I could just ramble and just ramble, just run on sentence after run on sentence. My wife loves it.
Well, that is part of what makes a good commentator. You have to sit up here and talk for about 2 hours a night. So rambling, not necessarily a bad thing here in our line of work, Doug. And looking out at the chat, we've got a lot of people who've been out there. Rich Sobel, Stay Tuned Sports writer, still out there. RC Plains, A lot of other people, Jeff Price, Brantley Roden, Patience, Morrison out there. Oh, my computer did the thing. There we go, we're back. It does that. I don't know why. It likes to do that sometimes. Back live here. It is the number 47 of Mike Floppy Tellier, who's really commanding the race at this point. He got out in front of the 3 of Jason Shue, doing a good job leading the pack right now. But you got a hungry Jason Gracias on the outside lane, but I still wonder, Doug, I know the damage is on the rear end of that race car, but I wonder how much it's affecting his ability to keep the pace as the leader of the pack, as the Pepsi machine back there got a little close to the wall, managed to keep it together, though, for the time being. That is the number 28, I believe, of Sam Kohlhaas. Yes, it is. I'm learning numbers quickly. I've never met Sam before, but I learned the numbers. See, we are learning here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series.
It seems the more we watch this, after restarts, after a few laps, it just seems like maybe the damage isn't actually that as beneficial to Jason as we're thinking. Because it seems like every one of his lines slowly but surely keeps running out of steam. And right now he's pushing Phillip, giving Phillip a nice push. But once they get separated in the corners, I mean, you'll probably see it here, that Mike and Jason and Chris will probably pull away just a little bit down the straightaway. And now they make liars out of me by linking up.
Yeah, Stan Hausman, I believe, trying to shoot the inside 3 wide here down the back straightaway. Ooh, wow. Up the middle, passes both Phillip Scott and Jason Gracias. Man. Oh, Gracias gets turned down into Chris Darling. We're wrecking again through turns 3 and 4. Caution flag in the air. Big wreck.
4 hit hard. But real quick, who's driving the 39? Is that Stan or Dale Earnhardt? I mean, good God, what moves. That was almost textbook.
We'll go back and take a look, not only at the wreck, but at that move from Stan Hausman, past 2 cars down the back straightaway. And looking at it, Doug, that is exactly what kept him out of this wreck. So great driving by Stan Hausman. Here we're going to take a look at it here on the World Racing Network replay. You see Stan up the middle, take him 3 wide. Then we got to focus on the 1 of Jason Gracias. Almost made contact with the 99, overcorrected into the inside, and there was Chris Darling down there. You see the 29 of Ira Kohlhaas with a ton of damage on that Mountain Dew machine.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you get within 10 laps. Just, you know, all the give and take is at the window now. It's all take, no give. Checkers or wreckers. Bring home the steering wheel or the trophy.
Yep, that is unfortunately, as we get later into the race, it makes for great racing. For sure, on board with the number 29 of Ira Kohlhaas down the back straightaway. It makes for great racing, but sometimes it can lead to incidents like this, and it's a game of inches here at Daytona. You see Stan Hausman shoot the middle, and then they get a little bit squirrely right in front of him here. Jason Gracias into the 11. And then they just come down the track. Bam, nowhere to go for the 29 of Kohlhaas. And big wreck. And that is, I believe, caution number 4. Maybe 5. I lost count. I try to keep track of them.
I lost count after the second one. I will say, for anybody that's watching that's never participated in an iRacing race, in my opinion, the most fun you can have is in the last 10 laps up front at a super speedway race. It's just so close, so intense. I almost feel like I don't blink and I squeeze my wheel so hard. And I do not let up until I get wrecked or there's a caution. Then I can take a breath. So I'm sure that's what a lot of these guys are feeling right now. Stan Earnhardt there. I mean, I can't get over that. That was textbook if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it
was like a flashback to Talladega 2000.
It was a very good move from Stan Hausman, and it's put him up into the race lead here at Daytona in the closing stages of this race. Here you see the number 47 of Mike Floppy Tellier as well, doing an amazing job keeping that Hello Kitty machine up here in the race. Jason Chu in the number 3 doing a good job, held his own up there. The number 28 of Sam Kohlhaas. We just saw Ira Kohlhaas get into a wreck. Sam out there running in 4th position. Chris Darling in the number 11 Max Graphics machine was involved in that wreck, but is still out there running in the 4th position. And just something of note here as we take 6 laps to go, which is that Jason Chu still has not pitted in the last 27 laps. So I am a little worried. Well, I'm about to take it back, because I was worried about Jason Chu running out of fuel until I saw that the number 28 of Sam Kohlhaas has been on track for 39 laps on a tank of fuel. That's hard to believe how they have stretched that tank of fuel so far, because I didn't think they had that much in them here. That's almost,
Yeah.
I almost don't believe the number I'm seeing. That's very impressive.
Illegal fuel tank. Take it after. There's something wrong there.
Take it
But
to the
since old Mike's up here running in second in the Hello Kitty car, I'm just going to throw out a fun Hello Kitty fact for you. I just looked up.
well, sure.
Her full name is Kitty White, and she was born in London, England. And one more, Taiwan and Shanghai have Hello Kitty hospitals.
They do. Well, we don't have Hello Kitty hospitals here in the National Sim Racing Association. We do have Brookstone Animal Hospital, though. You see, that's how you do commentaries. These quick little reactions.
Quick little
sponsor
segues, and it
plug.
worked great.
I believe it was Garrett Gleason in the number 7 picking up that Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. That wasn't even planned, but it worked out perfectly here for us here in the booth here. Thank you very much, Doug, and always appreciate the fun facts, especially about Hello Kitty. So if you feel like dropping anything more as we go on, feel free. They're trying to sort themselves back out a little further back in the pack. You see Jordan Shepler down there on the inside, doesn't quite know what he's doing, but we are going to start this lap as they sort it out back there. Green flag back in the air. Stan Hausman on the inside. Great start, though, from Mike Floppy Tellier as well, but he has no help on the outside lane. Of course, neither does Stan Hausman. Those front two caught everybody else sleeping on this restart, and the number 28 and number 3 are going to come with a ton of steam as they head down onto the back straightaway. Curious to see what they do. The number 6 of Nick Kessler trying to get up the inside, 3 wide underneath the 28 of Kohlhaas. Sam Kohlhaas there. In the Pepsi, number 28, Brianna Lavin was involved in that last wreck. Ton of front-end damage, but she's still out there running. Now gets under the 28 as well. Lavin up into the 3rd car in the outside lane.
Yeah, there at the start, I thought maybe it was designed how far back the 28 and 3 hung out. And then, coming off turn 2, Nick just went for it. And, Taylor, he's going for it on the outside there. We got a 4-car breakaway here at the front of the field.
I can't imagine it's going to stay that way long, as there's a ton of race cars back here trying to work their way up there. But the 25 of Lavin, a ton of damage. I can't imagine she's going to be able to lead that outside lane very well. Trying to prove me wrong, of course, but it is a 4-car breakaway up here for the race lead. The number 39 of Stan Hausman in the Beer Street Journal machine, trying to bring home the win in the first race of the season for the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Wouldn't that be something to see? Stan Hausman picking up the win here today in the Beer Street Journal machine, but he still has 3 more laps to hold him off, as there goes Jason Chu and Mike Tellier to the outside. Stan Hausman thought about blocking. It was a little too late, as they have broken away by almost a second from Brianna Lavin in the 5th position. So something working for the front 4 that's not for the rest of the field. I'm very surprised with that, as we are tandem racing here at Daytona. When's the last time you saw that, Doug?
Man, it's 2011. I mean, this is great. And Stan made a great move there not to throw a block on the 3, because one thing you see at all super speedways, whether it's real life or iRacing, is that late block late in the race that never works. It would have worked out real good for the 4th place car there. And now we're back to single file. Stan's cool, calm, and collected. I would look for the 47. If he can make a move with the 6, I can see the 47 pushing the 6 and then ditching him as soon as they get into the turn there. Getting a little bit of distance between the 47 and the 6 now, and here comes Jason, going to give the 47 a shove if he can get to him.
Yeah, right now it's going to come down to these 4 cars as we are just half a lap away from the white flag being in the air here to end the first race. Not in the first race, signify 1 lap to go of the first race of the season here, as it's still all Stan Hausman up here. We see the tandems forming up again. I love that we're seeing tandem racing here. Not what I expected here tonight at Daytona, but you see them forming up again. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go here at Daytona in the season opener for the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series, and it's all Stan Hausman up front right now, but he is getting pushed by Nick Kessler, but Kessler could jump out at any second, try and make that move, but here comes a big run from Tellier and Shu down the back straightaway. Those 2 drivers trying to get the run down the back straightaway, side by side with Stan Hausman through the quarter. Hausman side drafting contact. Stan Hausman saves it. Jason Shu goes around. We're going to keep it on this battle for the lead.
If you would have told me going to the turn 3 Stan was going to have a chance, I wouldn't have believed you. And here they go. Wow.
Racing to the line. It's a drag race between Mike Tellier and Stan Hausman. It's going to be Mike Tellier.
Oh, wow. What a finish.
Mike Tellier by barely anything at the line picks up your race win. What a finish here at Daytona to start the season for the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Stan Hausman gave it a good fight there to the line, just didn't quite have it here. And the number 6 of Nick Kessler going to pick up the 3rd place finish. Unfortunately for the 3 of Jason Shu, he ended up losing a lot of ground, ended up 10th. But man, Doug, that was a race to the line.
I mean, that was amazing. First of all, you had the hookup between the 47 and the 3 there. And then after the contact, Stan's still able to come back and get it that close. I mean, that's amazing. Great job by all these guys. Great job by Stan and Nick not to also wad it up and just let the 47 drive off. That was amazing.
It was just an incredible race there, and we're taking a look back at it here on our World Racing Network replay. You see the run started here down the back straightaway. They built up the momentum. Stan Hausman goes up to side draft and just makes contact with the 3 of Jason Shu, who gathered it back up. Good driving by Shu, but then it's a great run for the 47 and 39, and I'm going to try and stop it here at the line to the best of my abilities just to see how close this one was. Let's find a good camera angle. That's not good. That's not good either. None of these are good. How about this? No. No. None of these are good. Come on, iRacing. I know you've got a good camera in you. There we go. That's sort of the shot. Look at how close that is at the line between those 2 drivers. It does not get much closer than that to finish one of these races off.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised that they didn't wreck each other coming off turn 4 with the way they were going at it. Even watching the replay, I still think they're going to wreck. So it must be a lot of respect between those guys. Yeah, I'm actually just still kind of in shock. That's a good first race to call.
It was a very good race these drivers put on for us here, as you're getting a look at Mike Floppy Tellier doing burnouts after picking up the win in the season opener for the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. What a drive from Mike Tellier in the Hello Kitty machine. I think those fun facts gave him just enough of a push to go get up there and grab the win here in the season opener. Strong run from the 47. Stan Hausman came oh so close. Nick Kessler was also right there to the line. So many drivers came so close tonight, but Mike Tellier going to be the one that gets it done here from Daytona International Speedway. And we're going to get to talk to all your top 3 here in just a moment, so stick around. And we will be right back with some interviews here on the World Racing Network. We are back here on the World Racing Network. We're going to get to talk to your top 3 finishers here tonight, starting with Nick Kessler, driver of the number 6. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you all put on one heck of a finish for us here up in the broadcast booth. It was quite the race to watch. Take us through those final laps and what your strategy was to hopefully get up and grab the race win.
Honestly, tonight was a blast. Got in a wreck like the second to last caution. Gave me 25 seconds of damage, and I knew I wouldn't have anything if I led the lines. I tried pushing Stan there to have a little shot, but kind of got him out too far in front, and then Mike and I forgot who was pushing him came up to us and passed us. So.
Yeah, well, it's definitely an entertaining race, and we saw quite a few big wrecks here, a lot of green flag laps, but a lot of drivers had damage. How much did you have on your car, and did it affect you at all in those closing laps?
Only damage I got was, like I said, second to last caution. It was only 25 seconds on the front end, but any bit of front end damage at a super speedway is going to affect you. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to lead a line, but I didn't know I couldn't have the speed to push too.
Well, you definitely gave it your all then, and a third place finish in a field of as many drivers as we had tonight. 34 cars, nothing to be ashamed of at all. Next week, though, we're getting off of the super speedways, headed for the 1.5 mile at Homestead, Miami, keeping it down in Florida. But what are you thinking about your chances going into next week?
Honestly, just practice for a long run and hope I don't burn that right front up.
Well, we look forward to seeing you there next week. Again, congratulations on the third place finish tonight. But before we let you go, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
I would like to thank World Racing Network, NSRA, Beer Street Journal, Max Graphics, Stay Tuned Sports, Simbox, Berkstone Animal Hospital, JD Motorsports, and Taz Racing Customs for your custom diecast needs.
All right, thank you for stopping by, Nick. Congratulations on the third place finish, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again next week.
Yes, sir.
That was Nick Kessler, driver of the number 6, who brought it home in third here tonight. But I believe that Doug Milliner's gone and caught up with Stan Hausman, driver of the Beer Street Journal machine.
Stan, how's it going?
Doug, my friend, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Hey, congrats on the second place finish. I guess I know second is the first loser there, but tell us how your race went tonight.
It went to pretty much strategy. I was just trying to keep it clean, keep it off of everybody, and until it got down to show and tell time there at the end, and it was time to go. And after the caution with about 15 to go, I realized I was one of maybe 3 or 4 cars that didn't have any damage, and we got kind of hung up with Philip and Jason on the outside. We just kind of kept on stalling out and decided to make it 3 wide, which I typically don't do, and see if I could get up there. And I guess I timed it right because the world ended behind us. But it was a good race to the end. I'm sorry, shoe got taken out. I guess it was netcode. We were looking at it because I didn't think I was that close to the 47. So I was surprised when all of a sudden the car popped up going into 3. And at that point, it was a drag race. I wasn't gonna wreck him. I wasn't gonna door him or anything. I knew I had a run, and just wanted to see if I could get the run and get on by him there. Like a couple seasons ago, me and you had a truck race here that finished the same way, and you got me probably by about the same amount.
Yeah, it actually looked kind of familiar now that you think about it. What was going through your head there down the back straightaway when you saw the 47 coming with the 3 hooked up? I mean, how close were you just to trying to throw some crazy late race block, or were you content to stay right there in front of Nick?
I was kind of content to stay in front of Nick because it seemed like Nick was working with me, and I thought if I could just make sure I was still beside the 47 when we entered 3, then Nick and I could head for the apron and get some of that momentum back. And that's what I was trying to do. I was just trying to come up and because they were tandem together, and see if I could just come up a little bit, maybe have Jason check up or something to break their momentum, and then see if we could make it a top line, bottom line race from there on out. But I didn't. It was going to be a good night. We were up in first, second, third, or fourth there, so I wasn't gonna throw a crazy block and end up ruining all of our nights. But it was a good fun race. It was close. That's the second night in a row we had a photo finish for NSRA in league races. So it'll be interesting to see what tomorrow night brings. Hopefully, I'll be on the other end of it.
Well, you all definitely put on a great show up here. You excited for Homestead next week? I believe it's where we're going.
Yeah, with the Progressive Bank, the Xfinity cars, that's the fun thing about these Xfinity cars. It puts a lot more back into the driver's control. You can't just, point and squirt with them. You've got to save those tires, take care of the car, and the races aren't super long, but they're just long enough for where you can play a little strategy and run. So I'm really looking forward to running some more races this season and you guys televise or broadcasting some more.
Before we let you go, you got anybody to thank before we let you off here?
Well, I mean, yeah. First things first. You guys at WRN for coming on as broadcast partners. That's awesome. We've been watching Mitchell's broadcasts over the past couple of weeks, and he's been doing great. When I heard you were in the booth tonight, I was excited. We figured you were a natural, so I can't wait to go back and watch this tonight.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Mute it.
But all the sponsors for NSRA, whether it's Max Graphics, Chris does or painted up the Beer Street Journal car that I drive. Simbox, I know, is another sponsor. Doug Neal and his support to NSRA, and obviously Beer Street Journal for sponsoring the rate or the series as well as the car. So everyone go out and check beerstreetjournal.com on out now that things are kind of returned to normal and they can start hitting the road and going to beer festivals and hopefully a craft brewery near you.
Hey, man, well, thank you for taking time with us. Thank you for putting on a good race, and don't think about this one too much tonight.
I won't. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
That is Stan Hausman, driver of the Beer Street Journal machine, came home in the second position. But now it's time to talk with the winner of tonight's race. There he is up in the booth down in Victory Lane with Mike Tellier. Mike Mitchell in the 3Y, not 3Y2, I'm sorry, World Racing Network booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, I forgot what channel I was broadcasting on for a second. But anyways, Mike, what a race, what a win you had there in your Hello Kitty machine here tonight. Before I get into it, Doug wanted me to tell you a little bit of a fun fact and see if you know this. Did you know that Hello Kitty is 5 apples tall and 3 apples weighs 3 apples, right, Doug?
Yes. Her height and weight is in apples, and that is just one of the 3 we've told so far tonight.
I actually did know that, and it really doesn't make sense to me how she is 5 apples tall but only weighs 3 apples.
Yeah.
But anyways, Pink Power. This one's for Hello Kitty.
Yeah, well, enough of that. On to your race here tonight, which saw you in Victory Lane, but that race to the finish was incredible. We saw tandem racing, which I didn't expect to see here tonight at all. So just kind of take us through the strategy, how you set yourself up to get there, and how you were able to make that last lap move.
Well, initially, I was hoping that I could push Jason Shue to the front, and that's what the plan was. But he ended up running higher in the corner than I was hoping, and we lost all the ground we made up. So then, luckily, I mean, he listened. We were in the same chat together. He's right now the greatest teammate on the planet. Thank you for pushing me. He let me get the run. He followed me all the way as far as he could to get past Stan and Nick. And honestly, I wouldn't be here without him. Like I said, I was going to run second pushing him, and things didn't work out, and luckily I'm here. So once again, thanks, Jason. I owe you, buddy.
Yeah, well, definitely a lot of really good teamwork out there. We saw a lot of drivers working together, but also a lot of big wrecks that you managed to keep your car clean through. But who were those people you were working with out there tonight? And do you think you can keep working with them here throughout the season?
Uh, Honestly, I was riding most of the time. I didn't really have any planned friends. There was a bunch of us, the TNR guys. So Garrett, Jason, Philip, Jason Gracias. We were all kind of working together. Sorry if I forgot anyone. But pit strategies and green flag pit stops never happened. So, I mean, there wasn't really any major teamwork needed. But I mean, the guys were there. It was a good team effort. Yeah, I don't know. When it mattered, it came down to who had friends, and luckily I had Jason Shue there with me. So
Yeah, you really did have the right push at the right time, but I mean, man, you got the win here tonight. Next week, though, we're staying in Florida, going to Homestead, Miami. How do you like the mile and a half? Do you think we could see you get 2 in a row?
if I do, I need to go buy a lottery ticket. I like Homestead. It's not really one of my faster tracks. I do enjoy it. It's really good racing there. Um, just something about me and that track don't mesh well. So hopefully I can exceed my own expectations next week, and hope talk to you guys up here in the booth again.
Yeah, we hope to get to talk to you again next week, but before we let you keep going, celebrate, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, the guys at Total Nonstop Racing, the racing team of Sky Motorsports, you guys for putting on the broadcast tonight, NSRA for putting on the series, Beer Street Journal for sponsoring the series, and yeah, that's about it. Jason Shue for pushing me to the win. Can't forget him.
Can't forget Jason Shue here. Gotta have the friends here on the plate tracks, and you did here tonight. Congratulations on the win. Again, we hope to get to talk to you next week at Homestead, Miami at the same time here on the World Racing Network.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, that was Mike Floppy Tellier, winner of tonight's race here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series, the season opener at Daytona, and what a race it was indeed, Doug. I was glad to get to sit up here in the booth with you. I had a great time getting the season started here. I hope you did too, but just kind of take us through the race and what surprised you about what we saw here tonight.
I'm actually surprised at how many guys we kind of still had running there at the finish. If you'd have told me, after seeing these wrecks that we'd have them guys still out there with a chance, I wouldn't have believed you. I still can't believe Stan was able to keep the run after the contact with Jason. The only thing that stinks about having a race this good to start your season is it's hard to top it. I mean, that was amazing. It was a great first race to broadcast. Thanks for letting me join you tonight. I mean, I really just can't get over how great of a race it was. Really, it blew out every expectation I had. I thought we were gonna get one of those boring super speedway lulls there in the beginning, but these guys and gals strapped in and they went for it all night long. So made for a great broadcast, great racing, and it went by so quick, man. I'm ready to broadcast another one.
It does. It does go by quickly when you sit up here in the booth and just get to chill out every night and watch some great racing here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Of course, they definitely didn't disappoint with the action they brought here tonight. I would expect nothing less from the National Sim Racing Association, but going to take you through your finishing order here before we go off the air. All 33 drivers who started tonight's race, quite the field. Of course, Mike Floppy Tellier tamed them all and won the race here tonight at Daytona. Stan Hausman finished second. Nick Kessler brought it home third. We talked to all three of them. Then it was Brianna Lavin in the number 25 who finished in the fourth position. Jeremy Richmond, who we didn't really talk about at all tonight, but he's a strong figure over in the Max Graphics Super Speedway Series on Wednesday nights. He finished fifth, top five finish for Richmond. Then it was Chris Starling in the number 11, Jordan Shepler in the 13, Sam Kohlhaas, who went 45 laps without pitting. So quite the stretch for Kohlhaas in the Pepsi machine. Then it was Daniel Anderson, Jason Shu rounding out your top 10. Josh Sobel finished 11th. Nate Maurer 12th. Garrett Gleason 13th. Jason Gracias 14th. Adam Pettit in 15th. Philip Scott, Brock Whitehead, Ira Kohlhaas, Christopher Thompson, Noah Owens rounded out your top 20. And then in 21st was Brock Salvati, Martin Plute in 22nd, Matt Donnelly 23rd, 24th was Trey Whited, 25th was Patrick Morrison, 972 of Doug Neal finished in 26th, and Justin White 27th, Eddie Morris 28th, Alexander Kerfan 29th, and Josh Ball rounded out your top 30. Then Ryan Sizemore, Ben Mashburn, and Jeff Price rounded out the 33 drivers who started in tonight's race. And Doug, like we said, it was an absolutely amazing race here tonight. Gotta love the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series for getting all these drivers out here, and of course the National Sim Racing Association, who lets us come sit up here and watch some great racing every Thursday night. Again, make sure to tune in next Thursday for Homestead Miami Speedway, which will be race number 2 of the season. Of course, take you through the sponsors again before we go off air, because without them, this isn't possible. They've been ticking by on the top right-hand corner of your screen throughout the broadcast, but Beer Street Journal, of course, title sponsor of the series, Max Graphics, Stay Tuned Sports, Simbox, Brookstone Animal Hospital, Taz Racing Customs, J&R Craftworks, and Eclipse Photography all help make this possible. Again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the race with us here tonight. I know we had quite a few of you out in the chat. Make sure to hit that like button before you leave. It really helps us out and helps out the NSRA. But until next week at Homestead, for all of us here at the World Racing Network, I am Mitchell Adams, and for my co-broadcaster tonight, Doug Neal, I hope you all stay safe, have fun, and we will see... Doug, I'm sorry, Doug. I was so close. I was so close. Doug Neal drives the 972. I thought I had it. As I was saying, though, Doug Milliner is my co-broadcaster. I'm Mitchell Adams. I hope you all stay safe, have fun, and we will see you next week.